So I ran into this YouTube video where an editor guy talks about the video of another YouTuber. I guess he reacts to it, that's what they call it. It's pretty fast-paced for me, you know, for a 50-year-old guy who's taking everything slow, but I thought it was really interesting the way he analyzes the video. So I wanted to you know, show some of the things that interest me in this video. So the artist is ZHC. I didn't really know him, and the editor guy, I guess he's the editor of some of the best YouTubers or something. He's British. But you know, let's see what they say. This is really interesting, I think. Of course, the internet is so slow here in the countryside in Turkey, as you can see.
It's like the nerves part. Do you still get that, like, even now?
No, not really.
Just me then. Thanks for support. ZHC is achieving millions of views by celebrating art and style. I'm sick of shouting. Fuck everyone who got it. That doesn't mean there's content can't be better. There's a few elements of the editing and storytelling that I think are great, and some that are neglected, which I think creates missed opportunities. So me and Zach are going to talk about what works and what we like about his content, and I'm going to be a cheeky little bugger and roast the hell out of his content.
We're getting...
First of all, you know, the guy is the editor himself, so you know, he does a great intro of his own reaction video, which is really awesome. And I guess the artist, that he has millions and millions of followers, so of course they're both young, so the people who follow them should be very young as well. But still, it's just amazing to see these young talents.
Months of hard work to get just ripped apart and demolished.
That is probably, unfortunately, it.
Months of hard work to be ripped apart and demolished. It means he spends months and months to plan and film and edit the video that this guy is about to demolish in 13 minutes. And look at it, he's laughing to him. It's so great that he's so open to criticism, you know, like this is amazing. He doesn't make it an ego thing. It's like, you know how many months I spent doing that video. He doesn't get mad. He just allows the editor to criticize him so that he can learn more and become even better.
I'm going to spend the next 10 days customizing this entire school.
This school's gargantuan.
We will be painting classrooms, hallways, lockers, bathrooms, principal's office, this giant ramp, and a lot more.
Tell me about that first shot. What goes through your mind there?
I guess I wanted them to kind of see the school. I wanted to keep it high energy, get a little bit of movement in the camera.
You did have the camera movement, which is great. It's moving forward. Actually, that camera movement should have been the other way. People do click onto you, start up close to you. Here I am, don't worry, I'm here, guys. And then you pull back to reveal this.
Just a very small but very interesting, you know, little information there that people click to you, he says, so you should start from your face and then show the school as opposed to showing the school first. However, in movies, the thing I see, since I watch so many movies, is that they always show the, you know, the location first, but I guess for YouTube this is better.
In the camera movement already tells a completely different story.
Interesting.
One thing I'm definitely curious about here as well is the music choice. It being like an action, sort of like tense music. Suddenly the school kind of seems a bit scary. The epic music, I don't quite think matches the intent of this sequence.
Like a little bit more like uplifting epic music.
I'm going to spend the next 10 days customizing this entire school.
This school's gargantuan.
Could have been an interesting experiment.
Yeah, I have realized ever since like short form content popped up, it's been a lot harder for creators to capture people for long form content if the beginning's not very fast-paced, intense, like something hooks them immediately.
That's why it's important to spend a lot of time on the intro. Every second, every frame, every even micro moment has to give me a good reason to...
This is so true, like every second, every microsecond the audience, the viewer of the video, decides between staying and moving on to another video. But the music, he's right, it's so important. Just the different music makes the school look spooky, or it can invite the people to watch more towards an adventure. Everything has to do with the music and within the drone shot, so that's something really to think about.
A good reason to stay is what I call the thank you letter. So one way I would have suggested is with this shot here. You're trying to emphasize the size and the scale. And do you want to know what I see there on that roof?
Snow?
No. I see a canvas. And this could have been a VFX opportunity to then fade into the environment. This helps us.
Wow, you see, with a little bit of video editing, this is what you could transform. He says the ceiling of the school, the rooftop of the school, to see. I don't know if he's going to change it into this. This would take months and months to do, though. But just to show what he could do with this painting process of the school.
Scared of what is about to happen, and that makes me want to keep on watching, because you're going to try to do that. Oh wow, I want to see if you can pull it off.
So it's not like what I have completed, it's like what I kind of want to complete, right?
Yes, we see your worldview. You see everything as a potential canvas and everything as a painting. Here's something that actually really bothered me a lot with the editing here.
We will be painting classrooms, hallways, lockers, bathrooms, principal's office, this giant ramp, and a lot more.
I want you to guess what I don't like. This.
I really can't guess what he didn't like, because he's saying what he's going to paint, the classroom, the offices, whatever. I'm curious about this.
Big things that infuriate me with this sequence.
Can we play it back one more time?
Hallways, lockers, bathrooms, principal's office.
What is a commonality that is set up and broken without good reasons as to why it's broken?
2 words versus 1?
2 syllables. Hallways, 2 syllables. Lockers, 2 syllables. Bathrooms, 2 syllables. And then you break it, principal's office. That frustrates me, because that removes that sense of rhythm. That's quite satisfying there.
Yeah, but I mean, don't exaggerate, because principal is so important in this school project, so of course they have to mention that they're going to do the principal's office too. So the other ones, bathroom, hallway, that's short, but the principal's office is a long thing. You cannot shorten this. This is, I think, a little bit pushing it, unsatisfying rhythm. Of course, it's much better if you have a rhythm, like in the songs and movies. Sometimes you have the rhythm, but you can't have it all the time, I mean.
Aqua rhyme.
Snap back to reality, oh, there goes gravity.
A little small dopamine hit, like that was a cool rhyme. This has a similar effect towards it.
Yeah, I don't think me or my team have ever thought about that.
If I was editing this and you told me to put those in, I will fight you.
Oh, there goes gravity.
If we don't finish the school in 10 days, can you put us in detention for 24 hours?
Absolutely.
Why did you ask to go to detention?
I guess we wanted there to be like some sort of punishment if we don't finish.
Narratively, it's a little bit confusing as to why you're asking her. I think it could have been more interesting if she is the one and give.
This is so true. Yeah, he also talks about how to do the narrative better. It would be better if she is the one who tells him, if you don't finish this task of painting the school on time in 1 week, then you will spend time in detention. But then again, it's like pre-planned. It doesn't look as natural, or I guess they have to first talk about it with the principal and then make it look natural, like as if she was telling him in a natural way, not as a talked about it way.
You've come to my school and you want to paint it? Well, if you don't get this done in 10 days, I'm putting you in detention for 24 hours. She says it. I just hate your whole intro, I'm sorry.
I should just consult you for every intro idea. I should just be a professional intro editor.
He's so humble. He's so humble. He doesn't try to protect the reasons why he did it like that. He just says, I should consult you for every intro I do. Wow. I guess this editor just got a new job, also editing for this guy.
I'm gonna start off by painting this wall over here. Alright gang, go get the art supplies!
So over here, we had a lot of art supplies with us, and we kind of just wanted to overdo it for some cool visual effects.
We're gonna need a lot more art supplies than this.
Sometimes contrast cutting could have been potentially a bit more funnier here. I wonder what happens if I cut out that whole sequence out entirely.
We're gonna need a lot more art supplies than this. That should be good.
I see.
It's kind of funnier.
I think the other issue...
Yeah, of course, it's like a shocking effect when you suddenly show one table going into like a huge table with a lot of art supplies. But yeah, it is shocking and good, but there's so much time that was spent into getting all those art supplies there, how the tables kept on getting bigger and bigger, that a time lapse was also a good idea. But I guess this is what I saw in one video called "You have to kill your darlings," which means even though that whole process took so much time to film and the time lapse would fit so nice there, doing it suddenly from before and after, like a huge transition, would have a more of a shocking value. So there you would have to kill your darling of that time lapse to show the more shocking value. I guess if your audience are more younger crowds who are more interested in really fast speed content, not me for example, then yeah, I guess the shock value would be more efficient to sustain audience retention.
Setting up all these time lapses, we got some cool drone shots, and in my head that was just such a cool shot, and I'm like, okay, we can't go through the video without using it because it looks so cool.
Yeah.
You're in my favorite trap, which is you love everything so you want to keep it all, but as an audience I don't give as much of a shit as you do. There we go, we got the first swear.
Let's go!
We got the first swear. I don't give as much of a shit as you do, and so you have to consider the audience's time. You're in the murder your darlings problem. It's a good shot, it's a darling to you, but it has to go.
I guess the main problem we run into when shooting these is that
Does this artist have like tattoos of circles on his shoulder, or what is that?
like 8 to 10 hours. It's kind of hard getting content during, especially since we don't really know when like a funny bit's gonna pop up.
That is a really, really hard thing to do. How can we make painting and sense of time entertaining rather than potentially
Imagine it's 8 to 10 hours worth of video content that he has to shorten to 10 to 15 minutes video. My God, look at how important editing is for such videos.
That's good. I like that. It's a nice call to action sort of thing.
We have 10 days to finish
that. That's cool. That's pretty cool stuff.
We're grinding and ready to go.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a nice moment there. It's not that motivated in terms of style, but it's still something interesting.
Hello. Got you guys all Apple iPads.
These things are giving away the iPads things. I know why you're doing it, but for me it's very ineffective.
Do you think it's interesting?
Why is giving iPads ineffective?
Like this in, or do you think it takes away from what we're doing?
I know what you're trying to do, and I will tell you later how you could do this better.
Oh.
Like the editors are trying for these types of like interesting montages. They're trying a new element every time.
A lot of the pattern we fall into is like, we're gonna paint this wall paint.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this paint. I have realized in analytics
Wow.
it literally like dips down. It starts to feel very repetitive, and I feel like there's
My God, if this fast-paced video is also repetitive for guys, for viewers, my God, I mean, this is amazing. What else do you want, YouTube viewers? You know, this is like such a great video, and even he says that he has a problem with losing the audience. People in YouTube, including me, I guess we're all so spoiled watchers that we just click from one thing to another right away.
there. We're assuming that it's a lot of music without context.
You're offering in some pretty generic music that's not that exciting, and I'm not getting a sense of style. So there is a suggestion that I do have. I want to see what you think of some of these tracks potentially underneath these montages.
Definitely copyrighted.
There is a way to license this song.
Really?
You can also get this song as well.
Feeling good, like I should.
It's like a TikTok song.
It's a TikTok song, but you can license that song. We've licked Critters can.
Wow, licked a way to license the songs which are extremely popular. I cannot believe that he is putting a sponsor into the content like that, like a sponsor placement, product placement, but so natural, like native advertising. Like, I didn't even realize that this was a sponsored content until this moment happened. He just entered so smoothly. This is a wonderful, wonderful, amazing example of how you can blend a sponsor into your YouTube content without looking like a cheap advertising, you know. My hat is off to this editor for even just for this sponsorship, natural video placement. This would be worth to watch, you know. Amazing. Leaked I've never heard of, but now I'm curious to find out more about this site. What is it?
Popular music in their YouTube videos. So ZHC can buy the license to use this song, or this song, or this song. You just want attention. Lit lets you use music from the collective zeitgeist, and the best part is there's no copyright strikes. That means you could still monetize your videos with Dua Lipa playing underneath.
I still really didn't understand what leaked is. I mean, do they purchase the YouTube rights of popular songs? If so, for example, Columbia Records, right? They own the right to the songs. So does Columbia Records sell the YouTube rights? Why doesn't Columbia Records and the other record guys get together and they create their own platform of usage of their music for YouTube? I don't know what leaked is, but I'm interested in finding out now.
And all of the major record labels and pub.
And what's the name with leaked? Like, I guess the young people like those kind of short names, but leaked, leaking. What does that have anything to do with YouTube music? I mean, wow, they could have come up with a much better name.
Chart music available to everyone without compromise. Get 50% off your first chart track and 14 days free of stock music using this. Adding style and a really interesting stuff.
He also put his affiliate link, so not only he gets paid for the sponsorship by Licked, he also will get an affiliate commission of everyone who will click on that link. But I will click on that link as well, because since this editor is such a genius guy, he says such valuable things for free on YouTube. He's not selling it under an online course. And since he did such a beautiful, smooth transition of his sponsorship, if I ever decide to use Licked services, I will make sure to use his affiliate link, because this will be my way of thanking this editor for doing such a great job on YouTube. I mean, so, you know, this is something that content creators should keep in mind.
Satisfy me, and I will continue watching. There is a moment in this video which was actually, for me, my favorite part.
Wow. Wow.
Come on, that's it. That's the variety I want. It's beautiful.
This is so amazing. He had a green screen and he did all these effects. So wait a minute, this was a green paper, like every paper was one painting, so he actually did painting it and he kept on filming it every time he painted, and then he made a video montage of this in Adobe After Effects or something. Wow, that was amazing indeed. Of course, this is what he liked the most.
Really fun.
Trying to do that takes so many times. I think we spent like an hour or two just trying to shoot that perfectly because we kept getting the timing off.
But it was worth it. You've just given me 5, 6, 7 montages of time lapses and paintings. I'm bored as fuck. And then you give me that, I'm like, hell yeah, there we go. My energy is spiked.
So if we do that every time, it's also going to be boring.
That is true, but what I'm trying to say is that gave me variety. And so the rule should be this: if you do a style of montage once, you should not do that style of montage again. It needs to be a different form of presentation every single time.
Holy shit, if you do one style of montage, the other montage you do within the same video should be a different, because people get bored. My god, once again, we are all so spoiled, I guess, when it comes to content. I mean, I wouldn't get bored of really cool montages like that, even if they keep on repeating, but I don't know. I guess I'm not the target audience because I'm not young enough.
They become a burden, they become the bits I look forward to the most. And then that makes those montages entertaining for me. It's great that you're spending all this time on this school and you're repainting it. But one question I want to ask you is, why this school?
I think for us, we reached out to a couple schools, and this school was very friendly and inviting towards us. There was an art teacher over here that was like really friendly and inviting.
Did we see the art teacher in this?
I think later on we did. He was in like a brief moment.
Could have been an interesting thing to explore. The main thing for me that I feel like has been missed is the characterization of the school, the feeling of the school, the why are you here to paint this school? You haven't given me a good reason to care.
The school has not been given enough character. That is so true. My God, this editor is such a genius. I guess now we go into the domain of really movie making, storytelling. He says that even though you're a painter and you come up with incredible paintings and you have such a big team of painters that work for you and you do such a great project of painting a school for free, but all these things are not enough. You can create a story. You can make it even more interesting by talking about what is special about this school, what is the school's character, why did you choose that specific school. And I guess we can even go one step further and saying, why are you as an artist so motivated to do this as a school project, and specifically why are you so motivated to do this school? This comes back to storytelling. So this is amazing. This guy is a real, I guess, a nerd. I have a soft spot for nerds like this editor. I will watch more of his stuff. And Ali Abdal, he's a nerd that I love as well.
Or this school.
My team and I kept talking about the why, and it was very hard for us to incorporate like a very real situation.
That is the hard part of this. Part of it is also the research into it. And so I think looking into what are the pain points of this school, or trying to figure out what are potential pain points that they're overlooking, and it's your mission to see if you can help support this school. And I think a good narrative is, as you're painting, you're also reaching down and bringing them out of their pit. And I have a potential pitch of what you could have done to help give the school an identity and make me care about its change. We start the video the classic way, painting this whole school in 10 days. But we are changing the stakes. Instead, we're going to make them a little bit more personal. I know from a Colin Samir interview, you were never particularly encouraged to do arts in school.
I probably should have been a better student. I got really...
This is one thing I need to definitely watch. Colin and Samir interview on ZHC. What kind of a name is ZHC, man? Come on. Anyway, I guess it's famous on the young people. ZHC, I guess everything is cool. I guess I should call myself not Tugi but TGI. Is this short things are cool now? Anyway, I love Colin and Samir too. I recently discovered them.
It was very hard for me to focus in a classroom setting.
And so your whole motivation for doing this is to stick it to the teachers and encourage the kids to do art.
Oh wow. Here he's actually coming up with a brand new story pitch, brand new way to tell this whole video, which would make it even more interesting and even more personal, I guess, and more enjoyable to watch, because now we would be watching a story as opposed to just watching something he did, where we get the background, the story.
There is a future ZHC somewhere in one of those classes, and he might never pick up a paintbrush. And so in Act 1, you do things like interrupt a maths class and give a drawing lesson. You're being disruptive. During this is when you learn that there is an art teacher, and he offers to help, but you're still very much, fuck teachers at this point, and so you don't let him. But the Act 2 is when we start actually giving the school a bit of a character. We find out it's underfunded, and that the art...
So like Casey Neistat says, he's coming up with the 3 acts of the story, beginning, middle and end. He's going to come up with the introduction, conflict and resolution. And so he sort of like, okay, maybe it becomes like fake in the terms of he's now planning a storyline for this video, saying that okay, let's just imagine that you're an artist, but there's a kid like you, and maybe he will never pick up a brush because his teacher is not motivating him to do so. and if we make the school more artist friendly, maybe they will be more interested in picking up the brush. But it's interesting. He shows that how you can put 3 acts of a story, act 1, act 2, act 3, and then make it more interesting.
Get cut if they don't get more money. You remember that the art teacher that you met in Act 1 and you decide to ask him about this. You learn that the art teacher is an absolute baller. This guy is a badass. He is constantly buying art supplies out of his own pocket for the kids. And when you interview the kids in the art class, they have all of these stories about how this art teacher is changing their life. You are now seeing an art teacher who is encouraging kids to grow and become creative. And so you decide to reconcile with the art teacher and you give the art teacher a paintbrush and he helps you start painting some of the walls. And then with that, he also invites you to be a teacher yourself.
Wow, now he becomes the teacher. This is a wonderful example of what storytelling means. I should really learn the name of this editor. But he's a genius, yeah. I mean, he talks about how you can make your videos so much more interested by incorporating a story within something that initially had no story at all.
Teaching the kids how you feel about art, the beauty of art, the beauty of painting. You even might be inspiring the next future ZHC.
So now, if he had done it like this, his video, by actually becoming a teacher himself, and for example, for one day he does a teaching of his own artistic journey to the classroom, this would be so magical and so interesting. Yeah, I would love to watch that, to see how he becomes a teacher for a day and what he tells to the kids.
Then Act 3 comes when the payoff. By this point, you have bonded with the art teacher and have learned that some teachers actually do care.
Yeah, Act 3 is the resolution. Did you see the music, which was so cool? Like, it was like a resolution music too, like a happy ending music.
And encouraging their creativity. We have a final reveal of the paintings and we get lots of reaction shots of the kids gasping and pointing at the art.
Wow!
And in this act, you also stand up in front of the whole school and reveal that you are donating money and art supplies to help keep the art department open. You have learned that the school and the art department are really special, and not all teachers are bad after all. And if there's a little ZHC somewhere in one of those classes, you have faith that they're in good hands.
Wow, yeah, indeed the video would be much more impactful if he did leave the giving the iPad gifts and the money towards the very end, and that the story shows where he comes from, why he does this, and then eventually how he hopes this will all make a difference in people's lives. It would be more impactful indeed, even for me as an audience, yeah, definitely more impactful. My God, this editor is good, man. Whose editor is he?
That was really deep. I think that's.
Look at him. They're just young nerds, actually. You know, I'm so amazed of the editor is still trying to be comfortable in front of the video. By the way, he's young. He's such a genius. He knows so well his own domain of video editing. But I guess he's just learning to be in front of the camera. These are very, very beautiful, naive people with such crucial information in their brains, and I hope they will become so much more successful because they really deserve it. They could be wasting their youth like I wasted mine, watching videos and porn and just doing nothing of value. But look at them, at their age, they're already so successful, so the future really belongs to these guys, man. Kudos to you, kudos to you.
The things I struggle with, especially like with the whole story there, because I feel like as someone who like doesn't really go towards like the emotional side, I think, so in the moment I always feel like I don't have any like emotion or feeling. I'm kind of like a robot, but...
So part of it does seem to be you learning how to be more comfortable in front of the camera and being more prepared to be vulnerable as well.
So I think for me, I already know I have to do all of that, but when it actually comes to like putting a camera in front of me and expressing my emotions, a lot of times I have a hard time like translating my emotions.
It's so hard. You have the feeling in your head And you're like, how do I verbalize that? And that is a muscle. That is a skill that you have to develop yourself. As the same way that you have developed muscle memory on how to do your paintings, that is a skill in the exact same manner. It is time investment on how you can verbalize how you feel. This ended up turning into a bit of a therapy session, actually.
That was like a very emotional speech right there. That was very inspiring.
Actually, I don't know how to wrap this up because I'm a bit emotional now.
So this was pretty amazing. I mean, at the end they are so natural, and they're both learning things about themselves and about their jobs. 5 more editing mistakes YouTubers do that I should definitely watch this as well. So I will see you later, guys. This was amazing. This guy should definitely be watched. Oh, his name is Hillier Smith. Hillier? Is it like French? Hillier? His accent is British, but his last name is like a typical American last name, Smith, right? Mr. Smith. Hillier. I love you, Hillier. I will pronounce it like a French. Je vais t'appeler Hillier. Maybe his mother is French and father British or something. But you're a genius, man, and the world belongs to you. See you later, guys. Bye.